Hey everyone, I'm Eric Graham. I'm one of the real estate tech guys, and today we're going to hear from Michael Beckerman, the CEO of CRE Tech. All right, everybody, I'm here today with Michael Beckerman, who is the CEO of CRE Tech.
Yeah.
He's hosting an event here in Boston today, which is awesome. Tell us about the event that's happening today.
So it's our CRE Tech Boston event, MIT Center for Real Estate Style. So we're partnering with MIT. We kind of took over an event that they had been running for the past few years called Disrupt, and which I know you've been to, Eric. And we're just bringing a lot of the marketing to it. They're bringing a lot of the content to it. We're collaborating on it together, so we're super excited. We'll be a record crowd for us. About 350 people coming from all over the country to discover startups like Crowd Comfort and others. And we have VCs and investors, we have landlords, we have brokers, and we have startups. And that's what our mission is at CRE Tech, to bring that all together.
That's awesome.
So we're super excited. I don't love your weather, but just because I came from Orlando and it was 90 degrees and hot yesterday.
Unbelievable.
But it's okay.
All right, so on this program we like to talk about what's happening from the occupier side of the real estate equation.
Got it.
And we were talking earlier about some of the things that you're seeing and thinking about when it comes to both the landlords and their relationship to occupants. So tell me a little bit about that. What are you seeing? What's happening?
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, I think just in general, just in terms of the ecosystem itself. So I've been in it for about 7-8 years myself. Before that, I was in the public relations side of commercial real estate industry for forever, 25 years or so. So the first 7 years or so that I was in CRE Tech, it's very challenging, hard to get people's attention, hard for everybody to raise money, hard to get traction. And I would say, you were with us in New York in the fall of last year. Since then, it's been extraordinary, the amount of growth in the space. So from occupiers, from landlords, brokers, the investment scene, everything is accelerating. So in my 8 years or so in the CRE Tech, mostly startups, which is what we focus on, I've never seen so much progress, traction, investment as I'm seeing right now. And a lot of it is due to the fact that there's just some great products and solutions out there, again, like Crowd Comfort and others that are really making tenants' lives better, are making the corporations' lives better, are making landlords better, and a lot of it's centered around how people work within buildings, right? Climate control, efficiency, communications, amenities, and I think everybody's woken up to the fact that technology can be a real game changer in enhancing the lives of all of us that work in office, warehouses, flex buildings, and what have you. So I think right now the biggest trend that I'm seeing is within buildings. So that's a pretty general category, but that's where all the action seems to be right now, and it's heating up.
So there's a few topics that come up a lot in real estate today. One is WeWork, and when you talk about the occupant and the sort of occupant experience side, they're kind of creating this new way of creating experience for people in their workplace. There's also AI that's coming in. There's also the future of self-driving vehicles. Pick one of those three topics and give me your thoughts on one of those three.
Do I have to pick one?
No, you can pick another one.
Can I just give you a little bit on each? Because we've done conferences on each.
All right.
Okay, so WeWork. So I think, obviously, WeWork to me is a game changer. I don't like, there's like buzzwords like disruptors and things like that. I try to avoid those kind of terms because I think a lot what's happening in CRE Tech is evolutionary. In terms of AI, so I was just at a conference that I was fortunate to speak at, and I typically like to draw the analogy with commercial real estate to fintech, and I think that's the best parallel as another industry is financial services. And I always cite this one example where I say, Goldman Sachs, for instance, I forget the year, it's maybe 10 years ago, had 600 equity traders, right? In a huge, probably trading floor like this. Camera pan.
Sam's not quite ready to do that.
Okay, we're getting there, okay? We're getting there. Everything takes time. Gotta be patient. Today they have two because of AI. AI was predicted to sell Facebook before the whole Facebook debacle happened recently. So AI is transforming financial services and being able to analyze, interpret, gather data faster, smarter than a human can. It's just the nature of what AI can do. So I think AI in commercial real estate will be transformative in the way that we analyze information like you guys do, the way we analyze data, et cetera, et cetera. So big thing.
On the topic, going back to the AI thing, I think there's a lot of ways we think about AI and the use of natural language processing to then someone speak a request into their device. So right now we're using mobile apps where people are delivering information, but they can also speak it. And you can start to see where these bots will go in and they'll mine all this data. So somebody wants to have a conference room for 5 people at 2 o'clock, and you can just speak a request, and all of a sudden they'll say, hey, I've booked you a conference room on the 3rd floor for 5 people in this room. That's revolutionary opportunities, and that's not that far away. Mm-hmm. These things are starting to happen now, and I can see, in our world, we're taking information from people and we're routing it to the right people based on where they are in the real estate. Mm-hmm. That's, I think, part of that data equation. But how do you see it practically working in the footprints of these buildings, and what are you seeing?
Well, just on that topic, I do think that voice, it will be the next great platform in everything. Yep. I read recently about Amazon and Apple, their patents that they're filing have to do with voice. I mean, it's pretty friggin' frightening.
Yeah, right. I mean, everything's going in this direction. Like, we don't read as much anymore because we can watch video on our phones. Being able to speak. I mean, we talked about this, I think, when we had breakfast, but I'm dyslexic, so the idea of getting rid of reading is a good thing for me because I'm at disadvantage in that.
And a bad thing for guys like me who are in the content business, trying to get you to read. So, but I just think that in terms of voice, where I think that's going is in terms of search. So some of those patents that I read about, where Apple, with Siri and Alexa, I mean, they're going to be documenting, cataloging, storing all of your communications and your conversations. And so what's the implications there, right? Yeah. So when they know that you've mentioned, like in my case, tequila all day in my house, they just hear me talking about it, and up gets served an ad for, Don Julio. It's coming. So I think that's what's coming. I think in terms of the real estate business, I think voice is going to be a game changer in terms of, how people communicate maintenance requests and how they communicate, like you said, about conference rooms and how you communicate with one another, how they communicate about property management issues. And I mean, you guys are at the forefront of that. So I should ask you, what is Crowd Comfort doing in terms of AI, and how are you using it? Because you guys are one of my favorite startups that I've met on the scene, and I mean that sincerely. And I've been following your progress forever. How long? 2-3 years, so it's forever in startup world. And I think you guys are way out in front in terms of what innovation's happening in the space. So how are you guys using it?
I mean, we're gathering occupant data that isn't being gathered in any meaningful way today, and we're able to deliver that. So on the front end, we're giving people an easy way to deliver anything that they want or see or need or smell in a building, using humans as sensors with the intelligence they have. But then we're gathering this in a geolocated manner in these buildings that allows us to develop patterns. So a lot of our analytics today is just data visualization. Right. The ability to create a visual answer to what's actually happening. But you can start to see, as we start to gather this data on a broader scale and we bring other data sets in, like weather data is a perfect example when you overlay it with thermal comfort reporting from occupants, that gives you a new way to look at the problem. What's going to happen if the temperature is going to change 30 degrees today? Right. What can you do proactively to reduce energy and improve people's experience in the building?
And that's extraordinary, and that's what I think the future looks like today.
Well, stay tuned for future shows. Michael's going to join us on a regular basis, give us updates.
I am going to be a regular
what's going on.
guest. Yes, I am. Next week we will go through my favorite tequilas, top 5 anejos.
All right.
And then we will go. What else can we do while we're here? Oysters.
Yeah.
We will do. Do we have? You know, it doesn't have to
Oysters
be
are
about
good.
commercial
I'll go-
real estate. We go look for oysters
Sushi?
and sushi.
Tuna?
Absolutely.
We'll do some sushi.
We'll make it like Anthony Bourdain, David Chang, sort of food tech.
We'll get
real
the
estate
Wicked
show.
Tuna guys to show up.
There you go. That's good.
They can bring their own catch. I don't know.
Stay tuned.
Someplace. Stay tuned.
Hey, I'm Michael Beckerman. I am a commercial real estate tech guy.
Come on, you're a tech guy. You're
not a tech
you're
guy.
in the group.
What?
The new generation.
This is what a real estate tech guy looks like.